So Marvel Comics prints a lot of comics. The majority of the books that go out to comic book shops are from Marvel. They overprint and they push out a lot of books. We've seen a lot of useless books be announced over the past couple of weeks. Notably, what was it? New Warriors, America Chavez coming back, Children of the Atom, which was a super cringy book about the X-Men sidekicks. A lot of those books look to be canceled. I think they're done. I talked about this in a previous video, and so did a couple other people. New Warriors is finished. I don't think you'll see Snowflake and Safe Space coming back. I think they wisely canceled that book. What's funny is they seem to have done it quietly and silently. Whether they'll bring them back, I don't know. It's funny because those books were finished. At least the first issues were. But sadly, they don't do the same for a lot of other books. A lot of times they just print them and ship them off the comic book shops knowing they're not going to sell. Well, Marvel still gets paid. That's the whole point. They still get paid no matter what they do. The comic book shops take all of the risk, and they take all the risk to sell to you. And if you don't buy them, they sit around on their shelves and, I don't know, go into dollar bins and then 10-cent bins if those exist. The point is the comic book shops lose money there, which is part of a bigger problem that I'm not going to get into too much with in this video. This, I want to talk about Marvel's latest dumping ground, which appears to be Walmart. Now, I didn't even know they were doing this because my Walmart doesn't have these, but I guess some do. And that's the return of 3-in-1 books. Now, some comics some bags used to be like 5 issues. What am I talking about? Okay, so I'll go over here and I'll show you this. So here's a picture of one. Now, here's what I didn't even know. This is an exclusive variant for Walmart. So this is something you can only get at Walmart, I guess. This is Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality. Okay, this was set in between when Spider-Man had his black suit, the symbiote suit, Venom. What this is 3 great comics, 1 terrific price. Now, apparently this cover you can only get through the 3-pack at Walmart. And the rest of it is trash. And I'll show you some of those books in a minute. So apparently this book, this variant here, sells from $1 to $5 to $15 on a good day. This is according to Key Collector Comics, whether or not, I'm sure there's variation in there, but apparently, according to this, the high point is $15 for that book. And so on and so on. Some of these are actually quite high. There's also variant covers for their giant comics, which I didn't even know. Look at this one. On a good day, sold at $100. Lowest appears to be $10. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. But the Marvel ones aren't doing too well. You got one right here, number 33 variant, high of 15, a low of 1. I'm guessing they're all low as $1. But when you go through here and you look, you see like this one, Arkham Knight number 1 variant goes to $35. But the Thor goes to 15. So it seems that the Marvel variants don't sell for very much. And on average, these don't sell for very much either. Oh, except this one. This one actually, Venom First Host number 3 variant, apparently is sold for $70 at one point. I would say if these are like other variants, the values on these probably don't last very long. They probably, when they come out, that's the best time to sell them. And usually how this works is over time, the value goes down extensively. So this was interesting. I didn't know they were doing this, but, to me, this seems like a cash grab to get people to jump on and buy the books that aren't selling. So they're just dumping them off at Walmart and giving Walmart an occasional variant cover. Now, the giant size books for DC are a little bit different. These aren't packaged books. They're just going to be sitting on a shelf, so I'd imagine you would have to get there to get them. The 3-packs are a little bit different. So how these work and how they've always worked, I don't think these have really been around for a long time. I've seen them at Five Below, actually, but they used to be pretty common, especially at Walmart. They used to have them on the magazine racks, but I guess they brought these back. And how it works is they bundle a bunch of different comics into a package, And you can see like one, usually, or two of them. Now, I don't know what these look like because I haven't seen the Walmart versions. But how it would work is they would put an exciting comic in the front and one in the back, and then in the middle were a bunch of garbage comics. And they're all like loose. There's no really telling what you get. It's kind of like a surprise. So how this worked really was how it sounds. You would get one comic, and then the rest is a bunch of stuff that didn't sell. So it appears that's exactly what Marvel is doing. They're sending a bunch of comics that they had sitting around and selling them to Walmart. Walmart gets to stick a comic in there that's not worth very much, and then they sell it to you. And they're trying to package these as variant covers. So here's a lot of the books that are in there. Like, so I guess this is one right here. You got a Tony Stark variant cover right here. This is Walmart exclusive, and that's the only one you see. And then you get a Walmart number 10 Fantastic Four book and a Civil War number 0 second print variant cover. So they're packing in a lot of stuff that's not selling. And Bleeding Cool actually did the work here and bought a bunch of them. And you see like this one, you get Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies number 1, which was a 1 in 10 variant cover. And then here you get 2 blank old books like Age of Ultron versus Marvel Zombies and so on and so on. So they're trying to dump off these unsold books to Walmart customers, maybe thinking, oh, we can get rid of a lot of these old books by having people come in and buy these variant covers. Now, there's tons of variant covers out there. I mean, this is a scam that Marvel's been doing for a long time. They explain it in this article, but basically, you sell 200 issues of a book to get a bunch of variants if your store. It's like a 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in 100. You basically have to buy 100 books to get the 1 out of 100. And that's why you see so many excess comics sitting around in comic book shops sometimes. The idea there is to make up the money that they spent on the 100 issues on the one variant cover, but that is kind of a trend that's dying off. People are starting to care less and less about them, so that system isn't working. So a lot of these overprinted variant covers, which Marvel prints a lot of because they have to cover damages and stuff like that from books that get shipped, are now going to Walmart. And then they pack in these Walmart variant covers with a bunch of garbage. And I guess a lot of the times, according to Bleeding Cool here, because I don't know how they don't, this Ian Melton guy doesn't say how many he bought, but he points out a lot of the times, like you would end up, so let's say if you went and bought a bunch of comics from Walmart, a bunch of these packings, you're going to end up with quite a few copies of Civil War number 2, Civil War 2 number 0 second print copies. A lot of these variants, by the way, they're packing in with these, like for these exclusive Walmart packages, are second print books, which are worth nothing. So I don't know who they're trying to fool with this stuff. This reminds me with Ollie's. So Ollie's is kind of like a clearance store. If you go in there, you can find a lot of like the garbage graphic novels, like the American Chavez and Miss Marvel graphic novels. They have them at Ollie's for like $2. This kind of reminds me of that. So I guess Walmart is the new garbage dump for Marvel Comics. I thought that was kind of funny. There's a couple more stories here that I want to go over. Black Canary is getting her own young adult novel where she's going to fight the patriarchy and the Court of Owls. This is another graphic novel made for the young adult market by DC Comics, and all of these have been cringe so far. Gotham High was cringe. We've got a few other ones coming out. There's the Aqualad one. That comes out. It got delayed. It comes out next week. And I'll be doing a live stream of that one. That one will be a lot of fun. There's also a weird swamp thing coming out. And then we have, besides Black Canary fighting the patriarchy, which is, I'm sure, going to really sell a lot and really help move the brand. We also have this Wonder Woman book where they've reimagined Steve Trevor as a couple. So now it's Steve Chang and his husband, Trevor. Who is this for? I find this funny. So this is another reimagining. DC does a lot of Elseworld stuff, but I'm sorry, this is really cringy and kind of dumb, and I'm sure is not going to sell. But hey, what do they care? Anyway, I got one more I want to talk about, and that's Brian Michael Bendis is leaving Superman. Very excited for this. Brian Michael Bendis is the man who ruined Superman. He's been on the run for 2 years. They gave him both Superman books, by the way, Superman and Action Comics. They used to be bi-weekly or bi-monthly books, by the way. So you would get Action Comics twice a week, and you would get Superman twice a week. Both had really good writers. Tomasi and Jurgens were writing, respectively, their own book, but you got Superman once a week, and both runs were solid. This is during the rebirth era at DC Comics. And then they decided to take those guys off the books. Both books were selling about 40 to 60,000 an issue. Sometimes, I think about 40 to 60 if memory serves. That's every issue. Every week, Superman was selling 40 to 60,000 copies an issue, 4 times a month. And they take them off, give Brian Michael Bendis both books, and now both books sell around 30,000 to 40,000 an issue. So they're losing there, and they're probably paying him a lot of money. He ruined the character. So many classic lines, like the time when Superman hung out with the Justice League, and he wrote, and I'm not even kidding, Batman talking about soiling himself in the Batmobile. It's a very terrible run. He ruined a lot of the good work that had been done to the character, such as Superman with Lois, being married to Lois and their son John. He got rid of John, aged him up, and kind of shuffled him off. And he ruined the run. A lot of the stuff that people liked about the character were changed because Bendis wanted it. They hyped him up. He's really ran down a lot of comics there. They let him do whatever he wants, really. The whole Superman line, though, not just the Superman books, Supergirl, all of it, he pretty much has had complete control of it. And he's just really destroyed the line. He's gone, though. So hopefully, I don't know. They don't say when his run is ending, but I'm hoping it's soon. I would love to get some good Superman comics again. It would be really nice. So hopefully they replace him with somebody that can actually sell some books. Brian Bendis is a hack, and he's washed up, and he's overhyped. Anyway, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts on all this. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Also, if you would, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.